You're listening to Inside the Techosystem, a podcast bringing fun and insightful topics about tech and its ecosystem in Nigeria. I'm Emmanuel and I'm joined by my co-host Chuka. Hey Chuka.
Hey lovely listeners, hey Emmanuel. Thank you guys once again for tuning into this episode.
Why are you sounding so sad, Chuka?
Well, I'm not sad. I'm just chill.
Where the vibes at?
Yo, what's good?
So you can tell by the mood of this episode, it's a different kind of episode.
Yeah.
So we're just sitting down. Actually, today, and we're like, what if we record like really short episodes and like pocket size, traffic style.
Like something you can listen on the go.
Exactly.
Just to get you started and get you going.
More like things that you can relate with. Not like we're going to be giving you new stuff. More like something you could just listen to and vibe with. So in this particular episode, we thought to talk about tutorial purgatory, which is something everybody relates with. Like, I mean, it has been a topic on Twitter for a long time. Like, one time or the other, someone bring it up again, and then people rant, pour out their heart and stuff. So we thought we could do a little about that in this episode. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about today, and we just start off by, for people that don't understand what it means.
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay, so basically, tutorial purgatory is when you literally do nothing else other than watch and read tutorials online. And it's usually very crazy because you do not know you're entering this sinking ship of never ever doing actual stuff, like building your own projects or, writing code that's, you started from scratch or like it's very personal to you. But like what you just do is just watch tutorials, read articles, recycle, buy courses, and then you just never get out of it. And it creates this illusion that you're actually being productive and you're actually doing something. But the truth is, you're just really stuck.
Yeah.
And if that's you, congratulations. Okay, so we're going to talk about this in this episode. All right.
I'm guessing that's a very personal definition.
It kind of is.
Yeah,
kind of is.
We've all had our own times where I think once you're out of it almost for life.
You still, it's something that
you get tempted.
Yes, sometimes. But yeah, I think your mind tells you that, no, dude, snap out of it. Snap out of it.
Yeah. So that is what it is, and we just briefly talk about our own experiences.
Yeah, so I really want to hear Emmanuel's experience.
So let you know that it's possible.
All right.
To get out of it. So my first experience, I started coding exactly when I joined my university program, computer science, in 100 level.
All right.
I started with Pascal. I talked about this in, I think, our first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I started with Pascal. That time I was very enthusiastic. This coding thing, whatever. I got tutorials, video tutorials, all sorts. I got them. But I think with Pascal, I started coding directly. But obviously, the hardest thing I did was probably
a calculator.
No, receive input and push out output.
You didn't even do a calculator?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God.
With Pascal, I didn't. But I think with other ones, I did. So I started with that. It felt like it was so... I think the tutorials felt very sweet. So I spent so much time on the tutorials. Like, it was more like imagining that you're becoming a beast.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're actually not doing anything.
Right.
You're just gaining knowledge, no skills and stuff. So that was my 100 level. My 200 level, same thing with, which language was that? Either Visual Basic or Python. I think it was Python. It was like, until I got my first freelance gig or internship that I started slowly coming out of it. So I remember trying to learn Django. I spent like a week taking all the tutorials I could take. I can't remember the particular one on YouTube, but I'm sure it's still up. I took all the tutorials. Like during the period of reading the tutorials, I was feeling very elated. I was like, oh my God, so I could do this, I could build this, I could build that. Guess what? After I was done with the tutorial, I said, okay, sit down, let's build a project. Bro, I opened my laptop, I installed Django, created a new project. I said, let me start. That was when I realized that I did not know anything. Like I was blank. I couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that I think one of the biggest challenges for me then was I took the whole course first. I didn't practice
Practice as
with the
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when it was time to now actually write the code, I was like, where am I supposed to start? And I started again. I took the tutorial again this time around,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
writing the code as I was saying on the tutorial. So slowly I realized that you can learn a lot, but not not
Right.
put much into
Yeah.
practice. So that's my own experience.
Hmm. Okay. Let me just briefly say mine. I think I actually had a terrible experience with tutorial purgatory because I mean my first ever introduction to programming and stuff was, tutorials, which I feel like is like that for most people, yeah. So like I got this course on Udemy and I completed it fine. I did all the exercises and all the likes. And then I was just like, okay, how do people actually use this in real life? Right? Because I mean, you're building stuff that there are already apps for, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to build a calculator today. If you sat down and built a calculator, nobody's going to use it because everybody's phones comes with a calculator and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So what happened was I started feeling like, okay, maybe I've not gotten to the real life implementation part yet. So what I'll do is I'll get another course and then I'll watch more videos, and then I'll get another course, and then I'll watch more videos. And the crazy thing is, you become so comfortable. Like Emmanuel
Yeah.
said, you feel like you're becoming a beast because of how many courses you keep watching and watching and watching, and how many articles you keep reading. But fam, you're actually not going anywhere, and it's so crazy. So I think one of the craziest things is don't. In fact, I started taking more intentional steps into coming out of this thing because when I realized, oh, this was actually a thing, because
Yeah.
maybe I felt it was just me that maybe I'm addicted to getting courses, and I actually found out that, oh wow, okay, people actually face this all over the world. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start taking more practical and intentional steps to getting out of this, right? So I think doing examples, I would not follow the example word for word. I try and do stuff on my own and all of that. So yeah, I totally get it. Like we can relate. We've all been there. If
You're
you,
not alone.
yeah, you're not alone. If you're currently experiencing this, you're not alone. So yeah, it was just that was it for me basically. So at a point, yes, I can say I was addicted to courses. I would just sit down for hours and watch and right, just how to piece everything together and
Yeah, I
actually do
think I think
something.
that's where the major
Yeah,
issue is,
yeah,
how to take what you've learnt in those courses
yeah.
and bring it to your own context and build
A
something
lot of people, a
awesome.
lot of people face that. I think
Yeah.
there's something very crazy. I think a lot of tutorials should start putting this in their, a lot of tutors, sorry, should start putting this in their tutorials. I mean, you just create a bunch of things. Okay, episode one, we're learning routing. Episode two, forms, right? Right? But like some tutorials never actually show you, okay, how
How
all
to
of this work.
piece,
So you
yeah.
just have ideas scattered all over
Mm-hmm.
in your head.
Yeah.
And then what do? You look for another tutorial
That's
that
probably looking
that
for
will
better
probably
yeah.
piece everything together, and then
Mm-hmm.
the tutorial just does the same thing. So yeah, I know a couple of tutors that are actually trying to tackle this, and yeah, that's actually really cool.
Mm-hmm. So you may be wondering, like, how does it happen? Like, is it that it's compulsory for every beginner or everybody that wants to learn how to program or learn how to do anything tech to fall into this trap? I'm believing that some people may not actually fall into this trap, maybe because they are maybe superhumans or they are. I don't know, sure. But I feel like most people would be tempted
Mm,
because it's obviously your first introduction to tech is probably your like it's be very different from what you're used to, right?
mm,
The first time you're actually programming a software that maybe you've been using Microsoft Word all your life.
mm-hmm.
You never knew how it was built, and
Yeah,
then somebody tells you learn this program,
yeah,
and maybe one day you can build it,
yeah.
and then oh you're like you obviously enjoy hearing the promises that oh one day because for instance some people one of my friends said the reason why I started programming was because he wanted to like build Iron Man suit and stuff
Want to build what?
like wanted to become that kind of level even if right now I don't think it
Did he
exists.
like Jarvis? Want to be something like Jarvis?
No, the suit itself.
Or
So
the suit was running on Jarvis.
well There are different parts of it.
You should have just become an engineer or something.
Exactly.
Did he ever get there?
Bro, he's my friend.
Yo, what does Emmanuel mean now?
I mean,
yo, cancel Emmanuel right now.
I mean, like, we are still, like, we finished school together. I mean, probably working in one field.
Yo. Yo, bro, whoever you are or wherever you are, man, I want you to know that I believe in you.
Stop it.
I believe.
Maybe, or most likely, he's going to chase his passion after he's done with money.
Okay.
So what I'm saying that is because we have these high standards of what we want to achieve, and then we fall. Well, probably the easiest praise of aspire to perspire, where we're promised. So the promise of one day you're going to build a super app, like, is very tempting. So you enjoy.
And a lot of tutorials start like that.
Exactly, like, so
by the end of this course, you know how to use sites like Facebook.
So I think there's only one course I've taken that actually promised and actually delivered. I think courses from Udacity, like their nano degree kind of level.
Yeah,
it's really cool because you actually build real life projects. Unlike some other platforms where
how much did you pay for that?
Obviously, you're gonna pay a lot.
Right.
Actually, it's almost like paying for university in Nigeria.
Bro.
But it's worth it. But they give scholarships. That's the good part. So that's how it happens. You enjoy these promises of being able to do super things, and you probably stay in those promises for long once you realize that it will take you a long time to get to where you want to. So, but obviously, there's a way out. There are ways out.
Yeah,
we are out of it. That's why we can. That's why it's funny to us. But if you're in it, it's probably not funny.
I still get tempted sometimes. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, like if it happens when you want to switch to a new stack.
Exactly. And apart from switching from new stack, like switching to a new I won't say field.
Yeah,
because
you can say field too.
Because today I was having a conversation with Emmanuel. I'm like, oh yo, I saw courses on After Effects, illustration, because I want to start doing some graphics work, and I don't have any experience with that. And Emmanuel was like, I mentioned like 3 courses that I'm about to buy, and Emmanuel just gave me that look like, yo, you're about to start this thing again. Like it's like a drug, like I'm going back to but Emmanuel's right. Like when you're about to switch to a new stack, like because your mind tells you
exactly
you have to know
you're entering
everything.
something new. It's usually is probably the most tempting thing to.
Yeah.
So the way out is not. You're probably going to be disappointed in my answer. I think just come off it, like start doing something. So if you're learning a new stack, the best way to learn, you've heard it many times, probably.
Build your own project.
It doesn't have to be your project. Just do something. You could maybe reach out to someone that's done, someone that's already experienced in that same thing. Hey, I'm learning this. I want to be able to do this. Give me a project, or are you working on something so I can join you? Because if you kind of like suppress yourself to find a particular project to work on. For me, that particular Django story, I never found a project to work on. It was until my internship that I started using Django for real. Like all my attempts to get a project, and maybe because I wasn't so great at generating ideas, or I didn't have enough experience to, because I believe that ideas sometimes they come from experience.
Let's say
you've worked on something so much, and then you now hit a roadblock,
like,
and then you're
how
able
can
to
I make this better?
Exactly.
Faster?
So for me, I never found a project to work on Django. But years later, I have so many other projects I've worked on. Most of them are not mine, but I worked on them. So the way out is, get practical with yourself.
Yeah.
You're heading somewhere. You're acquiring a skill to use it for something. So have that in mind when you're about to start something new. What is the end goal? Have that in mind.
Yeah, and I think it's when we talked about people getting into tech, we mentioned something about having an end goal. Like, okay, your friend said he wanted to be able to build Iron Man suits. That was an end goal.
Yeah, that's actually.
It may sound funny, but like,
I mean, Elon Musk had crazy
dreams. Right. So it may sound funny, but like him having that in mind and then going after whatnot. Yeah, that would have been. So yeah, having an end goal would actually make it easier on yourself. If you started this whole thing like, okay, I want to be able to do this, but then you won't just sit around watching stuff that is not contributing to that end goal.
Yeah,
like you'll not just sit around all day watching, reading. You'll be like, okay, your knowledge you want to gain will be more streamlined. Okay,
I have something else to add when you're done.
Yeah, I want to know how to do forms, and then you do that. Or I want to know how to design this. Yeah, because I know It's not just developers that watch tutorials. Every single person in
Yeah.
this ecosystem watches
Program
tutorials.
manager,
All of
data
you. Oh, wow,
scientist,
yes, come outside.
Datopian, all of you,
Everybody watches. Everybody
even
reads articles.
CEOs.
Yes. Yo, I said the last episode. Emmanuel throws shade on this podcast.
Are you okay? That's very shit.
Yo,
Now.
I'm innocent, guys.
Guys, I'm actually innocent. I mean the best for you guys. Yeah, so what I wanted to add is that I think we got this idea from maybe the education system. Education system is you read, you wait till the D-Day, and then you get tested, and then you're out. You forget everything. So probably the tutorial, you can mirror the tutorials to our lectures. We have lectures, we never use the lectures until the D-Day exam and test. So we may have the same idea with tutorials. So we're expecting that when we are done with the tutorial, then we'll get the skill. But you actually get the skill right from when you start applying what you're learning. So from the first tutorial, you should start being active. Like I remember when I wanted to learn TypeScript because we're using TypeScript for a project at my workplace. And I was like, what's the best way to learn? I was like, bro, if you're going to learn fast, you gotta be very practical. So I started off by actually writing TypeScript. I went to the first documentation. I just learned about the data types and stuff. And then I started writing TypeScript directly. I started with this framework called Nest.js, this TypeScript. So from all the errors and all the bugs, I was learning like very, very
because
fast.
Because tutorials never have errors.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
Exactly. And now this is like
your tutor is perfect,
maybe
bro.
2 or 3 months later, and my TypeScript skills are actually really good now. No,
for people hiring for TypeScript, yeah, I'll send you our invoice. We don't charge much, so yeah.
So that's what I wanted to add, and I guess from this, a lot of people can learn a lot.
So yeah.
So you can get out of it. I trust you. I believe in you.
We believe in you.
We believe in you, and with practicing and from the start.
And if you have any questions,
exactly, if you
feel
need help,
free to reach out.
You can reach out to me on Twitter. Reach out to Chuka on Twitter.
Yeah,
reach out to us
our
on
emails.
Twitter.
Everything is always in the show notes.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Remember, we release new episodes every other Wednesday, and you can subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. If you would love to connect with us, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at insidethetechos, or subscribe to our newsletter and shoot us an email at insidetechosystem@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can follow the host on Twitter as well, Chuka at Siwadiogo and Emmanuel at Olaoluwa _98. All right, see you in the next one.